What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Remen, aka Allfires. Knowing that we're still in the middle of a writer's strike and that the actor's strike could literally be a week away, also with announcements like Marvel Studios skipping Hall H and San Diego Comic-Con, it may feel like the entirety of Hollywood is grinding to a halt. And it may, but it'll only be temporary, because while these negotiations may take longer than everybody wants, they're eventually going to figure something out, as everybody will want to go back to making movies, and even if it's before the end of the year, that's still plenty of time for Marvel to be able to play catch up and maybe, just maybe, try to push out a live presentation. Fingers crossed for that, because of course we really enjoy those yearly and want to hear about new projects coming. They are indeed still greenlighting new projects even in the face of slowing down for quality control, one of which has now been confirmed by the direct in Shang-CHI 2. We're going to go through the article, talk about what they're saying about this project, some of the earlier rumors surrounding San Diego Comic-Con and this franchise last year, and then talk about where the real possibility for this to be slated in amongst the multiverse saga is. I think there's one very clear place for it. We're breaking it all down. Shang-CHI now officially greenlit over at Marvel Studios, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report like we're covering today, and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is just weeks away to coincide with the finale for Secret Invasion. Again, all you got to do is be a sub, leave a comment. If you want to stick around to the end of the video, we'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this article was posted by the Direct just a day or two ago, where they go on to report, quote, "The good news is that Shang-CHI 2 was reportedly added to Marvel Studios' official production calendar, meaning that the team has plans for it to go into development sooner rather than later. Depending on Marvel, Shang-CHI 2 could wind up taking one of the 2026 or 2027 slots, depending on whether it comes out after or before Avengers Kang Dynasty, which has now been delayed until May 1st, 2026. With an old release date in mind, Shang-CHI 2 could fit for a February 2027 release just prior to Avengers Secret Wars, giving Cretton enough time to finish all three projects, which include Wonder Man, now Shang-CHI 2, and of course Avengers Kang Dynasty, or whatever it ends up being called." Now, they also go on to say that assuming that Shang-CHI director Destin Daniel Cretton, quote, "will be back for the follow-up film," which of course he will be, the sequel would have to be put on hold until Cretton finished one of the other projects on his to-do list, again, which are Wonder Man and Avengers 5. Cretton is currently hard at work on the Wonder Man series as a creator and director, although shooting for the shows is currently on hold due to the ongoing writer's strike of America, and a strike that shut down other multiple MCU series. They go on to say, and while it's unclear exactly when Wonder Man will make its way onto Disney+, depending on how long the writer's strike lasts, that may be delayed into sometime late into 2024. Okay, so, and that's exactly where I want to pick up, because right now I think that obviously has a lot to say about the strike, but what it's also pointing to was possibly him getting through Wonder Man and then worrying about how Shang-CHI 2 and Avengers 5 would work. Speaking of which, I always sort of assumed that Shang-CHI 2 would lead into Avengers 5 because Destin Daniel Cretton, the guy who directed, is directing Avengers 5, and having another film to build out more of his protagonist in Shang-Chi would only make sense leading into that. As the article says, yeah, you could put Shang-CHI 2 right before Avengers Secret Wars, but as of right now, Destin Daniel Cretton isn't directing Avengers Secret Wars, so why not let the director who's steering that character follow him all the way through into an Avengers movie? So from that standpoint, I think as a lead-in to Avengers 5, which has now been delayed till 2026, makes more sense. And drawing directly from that logic, I have said since day one, I would be totally shocked, and this is even before Shang-CHI 2 is confirmed, if they didn't just shoot these movies concurrently. In the same way that they shot Infinity War and Endgame a lot at the same time, I think there's got to be a serious continuity and through line, and it seems as though with the split between them, they're not planning on shooting Avengers 5 and Avengers Secret Wars concurrently. I also think it would be way too much to bite off and chew to shoot all three of those concurrently, and so taking that even one step further, I see Doctor Strange 3, the conclusion of that finale, whatever's going on with Clea and the incursion, to lead directly into Avengers Secret Wars. I may be wrong, I've been wrong in the past, but again, giving Destin Daniel Cretton the chance to steer Shang-Chi through another movie of his own and then lead into Avengers 5 where he's got control over the character and the writing as well, just seems to make a lot more sense for the fluidity of the story. And I also suspect Avengers Secret Wars is going to be on a whole nother level with the involvement of the Fantastic Four and some other characters that when Jeff Loveness was publicly talking about writing Avengers 5, which I know there have been rumors that he's since left the project, until we hear that from him or Marvel, it's still wait and see to be determine, but when he was talking about it, said that characters like the Fantastic Four might not make it into Avengers 5, that might be a much smaller story in the scope, not something quite on level with Secret Wars. And again, I think that only strengthens the theory that Shang-Chi 2 would be concurrent with Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty and lead into that. Now, what I will say about what's been lacking in Marvel Phase 4 as we started to now venture into the front of Phase 5 is we're definitely missing that main point of view character that holds it all together for us. I know we kicked it all off with Iron Man and that sort of gave him the advantage, but we followed Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark throughout the Infinity Saga, and alongside Steve Rogers, the two of them were really our point of view characters. Now, as we've waded into Phase 4, there have been some contenders like Doctor Strange, especially Tom Holland's Peter Parker, but I really think Shang-Chi has a chance to be that character. I loved his film. I think that movie was amazing. I think Simu Liu is extremely likable, and in that role, I could see getting behind his character. The only problem has been he's had like 0 screen time since then. I will also mention, because this seems like the place to do it, that I actually, if you had to ask me who I think will see cameo in Secret Invasion at the end, I'm counting on Simu Liu's. I'm counting on Shang-Chi to show up. There was a quote from Simu Liu that says something along the lines of, "You will not have to wait as long as you think to see him again." And maybe I'm making too much of the dialogue, but I actually think there was an Easter egg at the end of his movie in the post-credit scene that foreshadowed him showing up in Secret Wars. That's going to be the topic that foreshadowed him showing up in Secret Invasion. That's going to be the topic for a totally separate video, and as we close in towards the end of that series. But guys, let me know all your thoughts down below if you disagree with me or agree about perhaps Shang-Chi being one of those characters, just needing more screen time to build out his character, again, which I really think supports Shang-Chi 2 leading right into Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty. Fingers crossed we actually get a live presentation. Fingers crossed they can get through these strikes. I'm really hoping they figure it out, and soon. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments quickly. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s. The next one's the finale of Secret Invasion. We are also doing the watch parties live for Secret Invasion again. I think I was the only one streaming a watch party this last week. I'll do it again this week, even though it kills me staying up to the middle of the morning. Come by the channel around like 2 a.m. We go live about an hour before. I watch on stream and you guys watch at home, and we all talk about it afterwards before I have to either try to stay up and do an Easter egg video, or like last week, just not, because I love y'all, but sometimes staying up till 4 in the morning fries me, and it was bedtime for real. So there it is. PlayStations though, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Hey, when it's bedtime, it's bedtime. I don't think anybody watching this video right now would disagree. Sometimes it's bedtime, and you gotta go to bed, especially at 4 in the morning. And I know there's probably some of you who are listening to the end of this video right now being like, man, does Mike ever get this loose? No, I don't. I'm in a hotel room in Vegas. That's why this video sounded like shit. And, I may or may have not started drinking already today. So I think, considering this video is done pretty well, I'm going to send this to my editor, and I'm sure he is going to make sure that it doesn't sound as bad as it probably was when I did it. And I am also going to request that we don't edit out this outro. And if you like the video, hit the like button. And if you don't, you know what? You don't have to, because no one's ever going to know. I'm not going to know. I'm not even going to know you watched it. But I appreciate it all the same. I love you guys. It's time for me to go play poker in Vegas. If you're hanging out in Vegas for the weekend, I will be at Caesar's Card Room most of the weekend. Come and say hi. All right, I love you guys. Peace.